a black limousine with diplomatic plates and the unmistakable seal of the French Republic idles outside a luxury Parisian hotel at midnight. Inside, a 20-year-old athlete from Manila is told to get in because the President of France is waiting for her at the Élysée Palace. This is not a political summit, and it is not a scheduled media event. It is the eve of the 2026 French Open, and French President Emmanuel Macron has completely cleared his schedule for a private, 3-hour meeting with world number 38 Alex Eala. No cameras are allowed, no press releases are prepared, and the entire Women's Tennis Association is left scrambling for answers about what is happening behind closed doors. And the wildest part? This goes way deeper than anyone realizes, transcending the boundaries of professional sports entirely. Emmanuel Macron does not invite random athletes to private dinners, nor does he send presidential escorts to 4-star hotels for casual conversation. The whispers leaking from inside the palace walls indicate an unprecedented diplomatic move that has caught the tennis world completely off guard. While the public expects her to focus on her upcoming first-round match against 17th seed Iva Jovic, Eala is secretly handed a proposal that could permanently alter the landscape of European sports development. To understand why this late-night rendezvous sent shockwaves through the sports world, you have to look at the sheer scale of the phenomenon known as the Eala effect. When Alex Eala arrived in Paris on May 23, 2026, the airport was completely overwhelmed by thousands of passionate Filipino fans waving flags and echoing chants. Even during a routine practice session on Court 7, the atmosphere felt more like a championship final than a warm-up. But the grueling flight from Mallorca combined with endless media obligations had left the young phenom physically exhausted. She had already ordered room service and was preparing for bed when a sudden text message from her agent Bong Ku changed everything with a simple instruction to stay awake because an elite visitor was arriving. Remember this detail about her exhaustion, because it becomes crucial when evaluating the sheer weight of what happened next. Leaving the comfort of the Hotel de Cringall alone after midnight, Eala stepped into that official state vehicle and was driven through the quiet, gold-lit streets of Paris toward the most historic address in France. For over 300 years, the Élysée Palace has hosted kings, queens, and global superpowers. Yet on this specific night, the armed guards at the iron gates were instructed to wave through a 20-year-old tennis player who had never even won a single main draw match at Roland Garros. Now, here's the part that should make you realize how massive this moment actually was. Upon entering the legendary Salon des Fêtes, a majestic room defined by massive crystal chandeliers and frescoed ceilings normally reserved for massive state banquets, Eala found only a small, intimate table set for two. President Emmanuel Macron immediately rose to greet her, extending his hand and acknowledging the late hour and her impending match. He explicitly stated that after watching her previous matches in Rome, he realized that the immense public adoration, the tears, and the flags represented something far greater than mere athletic fandom. Macron looked her in the eyes and declared that the Eala effect was not a mere trend, but a full-scale revolution that France desperately wanted to join. The French president then slid a slim, elegant folder, stamped with the official Republican seal across the table, delivering a proposal that completely stunned the young athlete. This document outlined a comprehensive cultural exchange program, fully funded by the French government, specifically designed to provide lucrative scholarships for young Filipino athletes to train at elite academies throughout France. Macron revealed that this entire state-backed legacy initiative would be officially named the Alex Eala Scholarship. Think about the gravity of that moment for a second. A major European G7 superpower offering to fund an elite athletic pipeline, completely independent of the traditional sports federation structures, solely inspired by the cultural impact of a 20-year-old prospect. When Eala, visibly trembling, whispered that she never asked to be a symbol and just wanted to play tennis, Macron responded with a profound historical perspective. He told her that the most impactful symbols never ask for the role, drawing direct comparisons to figures like Nelson Mandela and Mother Teresa, explaining that the world chooses its leaders based on connection rather than trophies. He assured her that the French government was fully committed to supporting the massive overseas Filipino worker community regardless, but emphasized that her official name and blessing on the program would validate the dreams of countless young athletes across the globe. But there is a side to this story that highlights the intense pressure elite athletes face when sports and global politics collide. Instead of celebrating, Eala had to look at that folder and process the immense responsibility of representing millions of citizens, while simultaneously preparing for a Grand Slam tournament. The private dinner finally concluded at 2 in the morning, with Macron personally walking her back to the limousine and offering a parting blessing of good luck. Back at the hotel, Eala broke down in tears in the arms of her mother, Riza, declaring that she would officially say yes to the proposal because the opportunity was no longer just about tennis, but about creating a permanent legacy for every single Filipino child dreaming of something bigger. The next morning, the structural tension became palpable when Eala's management team released an incredibly brief, calculated statement that deliberately omitted any mention of the president, the palace, or the scholarship, asserting strictly that Alex Eala was focused entirely on the French Open. Meanwhile, the French media began publishing rampant speculations about the secret meeting, creating an intense atmosphere of mystery just as the main draw was set to begin. Imagine walking onto court Philippe Chatrier to face a top 20 opponent like Iva Jovic, knowing that locked inside your hotel safe is a signed state document that completely changes the definition of sporting success. We have seen legendary athletes achieve massive cultural significance before, but we have never seen a foreign government establish a national athletic foundation in honor of an active 20-year-old athlete before they even secure a Grand Slam title. This unprecedented move bypasses standard sports diplomacy, establishing Eala as a living institution while she is still actively competing on the WTA Tour. The financial and structural implications for future athletic talent in Southeast Asia are massive, opening direct pathways to elite European training facilities that were previously inaccessible due to funding and visa barriers. When Alex Eala finally formalizes this partnership with the French government after her Roland Garros campaign, the traditional metrics of sports analysis will no longer apply to her career. Whether she secures the actual trophy in Paris or falls in the opening rounds becomes secondary to the institutional legacy already locked in that palace folder. She has effectively leveraged her cultural capital to build a permanent bridge between nations before most players even figure out their baseline strategy. Drop your thoughts in the comments below on whether you think this massive political responsibility will elevate her game or create too much pressure on the court. And make sure to subscribe to Court Legacy for more analysis that goes far beyond the scoreline.